You know, in my mind, it's a very simple thing. It's really about the way you treat people. You know, the way we treat each other in this world. One thing I know is I can be nice to people and I can be kind to people if people allow me to be that way. And when people ask me questions, I can talk to people in a very civil way. You know, sometimes there are people who think that the way in which you can deal with things, you can deal with things you don't like or the way somebody else thinks that you don't agree with, is to yell at them and to scream at them and to call them names and things like that. And I'm not about that. I don't believe in doing that. You know, you can sit down and have a nice civil conversation with people. And you really can do that. I believe in that. I like to promote that, you know, on YouTube. Having decent civil conversations with people about things that we may totally disagree with. You know, we may agree on so many things that we may disagree, but we can sit down and we can have conversations. We can talk about it. And we can talk about it in a very civil manner. We can have an exchange of ideals. We can examine these ideals. I mean, and actually examine the ideals. Actually look at things, think about it, and truly think. I mean, actually think about what somebody else might have a view that, you know, you really never looked at or never really considered it before. Even if you examine it and look at it through and through, you might say, well, you know, I still don't agree, but at least I understand you now. I understand where you're coming from. You rarely ever see that. You know, I think about some of the videos I watch where people yell at people and call people names. And, you know, you look at some of the comments that people leave when they say, you know, you're a complete idiot if you don't think this way and that way. And then people start bringing up things from the past, you know, 200 years ago, which you had nothing to do with, you know. And people used to burn people for this, and they used to do that, and you're part of that. And, you know, it's like, no. Let's talk a little bit more calm. But realistic. You know, we don't have to sugarcoat things, but we can talk in such a way that it doesn't degrade to personal attacks. You know, to me, it's a matter of just thinking about how you want to talk to people. How do you want to relate to people? See, I don't really, people who just want to fight, those people, I don't want to have nothing to do with. But if you want to talk about something, even if we disagree, you know, I think about a friend that I know, and we were talking about the September 11th, you know, attacks. And he takes a point of view that's completely different from the way I look at it. But we can talk about it in a civilized manner. Now, the truth of the matter is that we don't agree. You know, at the beginning of the conversation we didn't agree, and at the end we don't agree. But I understand his view. And he understands my view. And at least we do understand each other's view, even if we don't agree. But you know what? The one thing that's the most important thing is that we can still be friends. It never turned into personal attacks. It never turned into me saying something like, well, you're crazy if you think this. And him saying, well, you're crazy and you're gullible if you think that. No, we didn't do that. We said, well, this is what I think and this is what I believe. And if somebody showed me some evidence to the contrary, then I'd go along with that. And he may say, well, here's some evidence and here's what I've seen. And he, you know, showing me some videos. And I looked at those videos and I've come to the conclusion that no, that's not really evidence to me, you know, from my perspective. But I'm not a scientist either. So, but it's okay. We can talk about things. We could look at things. And it doesn't have to turn into an argument. I mean, when I say argument, I mean bickering is probably a better word. I don't mean argument in a more intellectual sense of it. I mean, it just winds up being bickering. That's what people do. They bicker. And then it degrades into name calling. And then it degrades into insults. And all kind of accusations which wind up being matters of distorting the truth. Where people say things, you know, they just grab stuff from outer space somewhere. And they start saying, well, you believe in killing everybody. And you believe in doing that. And you're a Nazi. And you believe in, you know, it's like, where is all this stuff coming from? You know, what kind of mindset do you have where everything has to turn into that? Instead of, well, I think this and I think that, but I don't agree with this, and here's some things I do agree with, and if there was evidence, and this, that, that kind of conversation versus, you so and so, you baby killer, whatever. You know, why does it have to be in the real negative way? Why does it have to be that? It doesn't. It really doesn't. And people can make a choice. They can make a choice. Now, a lot of people don't agree with my views. I like to have discussions, not arguments. And when I say argument, again, I mean bickering. That's what I really mean, bickering. I don't want to bicker, because there's no point to that. To me, I don't have to look at things from a point of view of winning and losing. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to win a fight. I'm just, I express ideals, I express views, just like I say on my thing. On my channel, I'm just a guy with a camera and an opinion. And that's what everybody else is. We're guys and gals with cameras and opinions. Or even groups. There are people who work together as groups. We're all people with cameras and opinions. And we put them out there, and that's it. And it doesn't have to be a situation of personal insults or attacks on people. It doesn't have to turn into name calling. We can be civil. I mean, that's just the facts.